Yet another AGM, yet another hotel. I suppose I want to give the date, it's 2009. This time there is no video of the train journey, though the train journey was a hell of a lot worse than the train journey to Cardiff. I don't think there's going to be any phone interruptions tonight. I'm filming in the bathroom. It's the only place where there's enough light to do anything decent, you know. I'm always troubled about the light. I've got some bad footage and I don't know what this is going to be like, because this isn't the best camera I'm using. Anyway, this time it is the other end of the tunnel. What I was worried about, that my term of office and the board was about to draw to an end. Well, it's happened. I can't say I'm happy about it. I can't say I really thought that the process went the right way. There won't be more said about that. Well, whether this will end up as a 10-minute rough cut or not, I don't know, because there is no flute with me tonight. I forgot that. I packed too much in a hurry to get out, and I left the thing at home, so there's no music soundtrack. I'll have to add that later, won't I? I'm just filming for the sake of filming, because this is the way it goes. What happens is going to happen. Right, I don't know how familiar you are with Aesop's fables, because this could possibly concern two of Aesop's fables. First fable is the one about the frog and the scorpion. I have to say, that's my star sign, Scorpion, so I have to do what I have to do, whether it's harmful to me or not. The second one is I might be associated with the fox and the grapes, but this is a governance question, and that's the kind of question I usually ask. Are you willing to explain to the AGM and the NAS at large the reasoning behind a recent board and council decision to reserve spaces on the board for particularly professional types of people? Now, I'm not arguing about the financial aspect there. I recognise we need financial expertise. What I am querying is the suggestion that a space should be left aside for someone of the calibre, as you have said before, of perhaps an ex-director of social services. Now, I feel particularly strong about this because I don't know about other people, but having been involved not just in campaigning for autism, but disability in general, since the 1980s, I have found most directors of social services and ex-directors of social services to be people who have spent their working lives trying to wriggle out of the commitments of expanding social care, arguing budgetary restraints, introducing rationing of services, etc., etc. So really, how do you think you can justify reserving a space on the board for such a person?
Thank you. I'm not sure if it was Aesop, but what I have in mind is the poacher and the gamekeeper. Look, we've just listened to Alison explain that 92% of our revenue comes from either providing education or providing housing in one form or another, housing, residential care, and so on and so forth. Education really is in the province of local authority division, and we sort of kind of know the rules about that. But the rules about adult social care and adult care of care, whether in the community or whether in residential care, registered residential care, is a profession in its own right. And I have to say that I think it's surprising that a charity which has as its business the discharge of a professional duty to some people, be they residential clients or educational clients, does not have on its board people who have expertise in that field. Now, we are a voluntary organisation, and traditionally charitable trustees are volunteers, and we're a membership organisation, and we elect our trustees. Now, for those of you who will not be familiar with the governance conundrum of the NAS, the members elect the council, as you know, because the letters of you elect the council, and the council in turn elects the trustees. And the constitution of the NAS provides that there would be 12 trustees, sorry, up to 12 trustees, of whom a minimum of 8 shall be elected by the council. So the proposal that I took to the board, of which you were at that time a member, and I took to the council, which they, I must say, slightly reluctantly agreed, for the reasons that I'm about to explain, was that we should, we had conducted a review of the skills of the board directors we already had, and we concluded that there were some gaps. Some gaps for a sort of a fundraising, somebody with an immense business network which we can exploit for the purposes of fundraising and who may need to be on the board. Secondly, an accountant to undertake some very specific separating work on audit and risk, allowing Alison to concentrate on strategic matters affecting the charity as a whole, and is regarded professionally now as good corporate governance to separate the process of strategic finance, which is what Alison has just explained. We're spending this much money on that, and we're spending this much money on that. That's strategic finance, as opposed to accounting, audit, and risk management, which is much more precise and exact function to do with the accountability, to do with the audit. Those functions need to be separated. We probably need an accountant, therefore, on the board to do that. Those may be combined in one role. It may be that somebody with immense business connections and so on and so forth may as well be incapable of discharging that role. We need expertise in the services that we provide, particularly in view of the fact that it's getting increasingly difficult to satisfy the demands of government. We're talking about being right in the middle, right at the cusp of where government decides what to do. So this person might be a retired, as you rightly said, Larry, this person may perhaps be somebody of the calibre of, and I'm sorry if you...
Those were your words.
Indeed so, and I recognise them, and I'm emphasising them because I don't know. But I'm saying that I think it would be quite a good idea if we had people like that, people with that background and expertise to inform the board's discussions. If we can find somebody who is not a dyed-in-the-wool gal-lighter of the type you described, then we're not going to find anybody who doesn't care about people with autism. We're not going to find anybody who's going to be a gatekeeper for us. We want people to open gates for us, to understand where the gates are, understand where the roadblocks are, and understand how to deal with all those people who stand between us and the services that our people rightly deserve. So we want to find a gamekeeper and turn into a poacher.
You are indeed a politician with that answer. But I shall just briefly reply that I don't personally feel that that person should have a vote in terms of governance, should not have that particular power as far as the board is concerned. I think that is quite possible to recruit that expertise in other ways. This has always been done in other ways, because I do think this goes against something which the NAS had set up years before even I joined the NAS. There was this notion that the NAS should not really have professional people on the board, but people who are associated with autism in that way, either as parents or, in these times, people actually on the autistic spectrum. So that's it, my statement.